your first customer is the most difficult thing you'll ever do as a business person, to find someone who will actually pay you that first time.
That isn't your mum.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's right. It's really, really hard to be a good salesperson. And people like that are unbelievably rare, and they're unbelievably valuable.
Hey, it's Rob Moore here, and I've just had a fascinating conversation with Jordan Peterson on things he rarely talks about. So we've talked about products and selling and entrepreneurship and how to sell and how a product does not sell itself. You rarely see Jordan talking about entrepreneurship and sales, so this will be unique and stuff you haven't seen before from him. So make sure you like this video, hit the subscribe button, and let me know, and don't hold back, what do you think about Jordan Peterson?
That's the other thing that people don't really understand, is because if you're a naive entrepreneur, you think, well, all I have to do is make a great product. It's like, no, that's about 5% of it. You know, and that shocked the hell out of me when I started building software, for example, because we assumed that we developed software to help people select better employees, and we never could sell it except in very rare circumstances. But we assumed that if we had a product that was validated, we could show that it had the effects that we wanted, and that it was more efficient than other products in the marketplace, that selling it would be easy. It's like, well, that's just so wrong. Selling and marketing things is impossible.
I love it when people say, oh, the product just sells itself. It's just one of those things which are like, you've not been in business a very long time. Because you've got market forces, you've got your skill set. You could have a great product. You're just not ready to sell it because you haven't got enough experience.
Well, and you don't know how to price it.
Yeah.
And you don't know who to talk to sell it. You know, you can spend your whole life, especially if you're selling to companies, which is virtually impossible, talking to the wrong people. And it feels like work, and it really is work, but you never end up contacting a real decision maker. And then you can't tolerate the excessive delay. Like you think, well, I'm going to go sell this product to a big company because they can obviously provide me with a massive contract. It's like, yeah, but there's a relationship between the size of the company and the delay in the implementation, and the delay can be years. And then this happened to us all the time. It was very painful. We'd get right to the point of signing with a large company, and there'd be an internal management transformation, and the person that we were dealing with would disappear. It's like, oh no, it's like, now what? We actually had that happen with a really big company in New York. We were right on the verge of signing a contract for use of this self-authoring program that we designed, which helps people plan their lives. And the week that we were ready to sign the contract, the CEO resigned. So gone. Was probably a year of sales and marketing work just evaporated. You know, and
you don't get paid for any of that. You get no reward for getting 364 days down the 365 days.
You certainly don't. Well, and it's also really easy for one of the things that tech incubators do really badly, I think, is they do lots of things really badly, generally speaking. But one of the things they do that's very counterproductive with the people that they train is they emphasize the development of the company, but they don't force their entrepreneurs to find customers, because your first customer is the most difficult thing you'll ever do as a business person, in my experience. To find someone who will actually pay you that first time.
That isn't your mum.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's right. That isn't a family member. That's an actual customer. And the other problem that people face when they're trying to sell a new product is one of the ways that people decide whether they're going to buy something is whether or not A, they know anyone else who's already bought it, or B, if there's other people in their domain that are already using it. And if your sales pitch is, well, no, this is new and revolutionary, you think, well, that's a wonderful sales pitch. It is like it is if you're talking to someone who's entrepreneurial and risk-taking and interested in revolutionary ideas. But if you're talking to a middle manager in a company, the last thing that person wants to hear is, well, you could be a risk taker and introduce this into your company. The person's thinking, I don't want to put my job or reputation on the line for your product, even if it is revolutionary, in part because if it succeeds, I probably won't be rewarded for its success. So when we were selling our employee selection software, for example, we were academics, and so, you know, there was lots of things we didn't know about business. And one of the things we ran into, which was so funny, we talked to the people who were doing the hiring, and they had a certain budget, which was usually lower than, because they had virtually no budget for hiring, weirdly enough. So what we were charging for the product, which was still extremely modest, exceeded their budget. We said, well, look, you're going to make a 250-fold return on this. Pessimistically, it's 50. Realistically, it's 250, and the upper end was more like 500. So it's a no-brainer to implement this. It's like, well, we're budgeted on the cost side. What do you mean? Well, if we hire more productive employees, we won't be rewarded for that. We'll just be punished for spending more money on the outset. I thought, well, we can't even talk to you because I'm trying to sell you something that will benefit your company, but for you, as the decision maker, there's nothing but risk in implementing the new process. So that just blew me away. It's like, oh, I see. The hiring budget and the productivity budget aren't associated. So that's like a fatal impediment to our sales process. So that was, well, we learned lots of things about, and I came out of the whole enterprise with way more respect for people, especially for people who do sales. Jesus, that's such a brutal job. And, you know, when people it's easy for people to, it's even a popular trope to be somewhat contemptuous of salespeople, you know, all those salespeople.
Definitely in Britain. We're very reserved when it comes to selling in Britain. But I mean, I don't put ads on my podcast. I mean, there's ads on virtually every American podcast. I don't put ads. I don't need the revenue. So in a way, there's the old creative artist side of me that doesn't want to interrupt my work with ads. But like, if I started putting ads on my podcast, you know, some people would be okay with it. There'd be a bit of a riot.
Yeah, well, and I think that's a real mistake because we're not giving the devil his due. It's really, really hard to be a good salesperson. And people like that are unbelievably rare and they're unbelievably valuable.
And nothing wrong with it, and it doesn't make you a bad person, and you're not selling your soul. Hey, so if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. I also have the full, extended, deep dive, uncut version, full interview with Jordan Peterson, so go check that out on my channel.